In a small village nestled at the foot of the Himalayas, there lived a young man named Ajun. Orphaned at a young age, Ajun grew up with his carpenter father, living simply in a thatched hut. Every morning, he woke up early to fetch water from the stream, helped his father carve wood, and when he had free time, he sat under the shade of a banyan tree, reading ancient scriptures that a monk had left behind when he visited the village many years ago. Ajun had bright eyes, a serious face, and a thirst for knowledge. He often wondered, if hard work is not recognized by the world, then where is justice? And if a person commits evil deeds and still lives happily, is the teaching of karma true? This question always weighed heavily on Ajun's heart, until one day the opportunity to find the answer came. One spring afternoon, a caravan of merchants from the west stopped by Ajun's village. They set up camp by the stream to rest. Seeing Ajun strong and agile, the leader invited him to come along to help in exchange for a generous salary. This was a rare opportunity. Ajun happily accepted and said goodbye to his father with pride in his eyes. He followed the group through many lands, witnessing wealth, deception, and unfair exchanges. One night, when the group stopped by the forest, Ajun accidentally heard a conversation between two merchants about a bag of gold hidden in a wooden cart. The undivided commission. Desire arose. They don't divide it equally, Ajun thought. I'll just take a small part. Consider it my effort. Taking advantage of the darkness, Ajun secretly opened the chest and took a small bag. No one discovered it, but from that day on, strange things began to happen. Less than 2 days later, the main wheel of the caravan broke while passing through the mountains. The whole caravan had to rest for more than a week. Ajun, who was trusted, was suspected because he was the one who looked after the warehouse that night. Although there was no clear evidence, people's attitudes towards him began to change. One morning, before dawn, Ajun woke up to find that the caravan had left without calling him. They left him with a small amount of food and no farewell. Ajun, angry and hurt, walked back to his hometown alone. On the way, he encountered wind and rain, got lost, was bitten by a snake and almost died. As the days passed, the bag of gold became heavier in his heart than its actual weight. When he got close to the village, Ajun stopped to rest at an ancient temple. There, he met the old monk who had come to the village years ago. The monk was still gentle, slow, and always smiling. Ajun knelt down and told everything, from his greedy thoughts to his feelings of abandonment and pain in his heart. After listening, the monk just smiled and said, Ajun, you are not being punished. You are only reaping what you sowed. When you took the bag of gold, you not only stole money, but also lost faith. Something more precious than gold. Karma does not come from anyone else, but from your own actions and thoughts. Ajun burst into tears. It was the first time he understood. Karma is not a mysterious punishment, but the natural consequence of actions. After staying at the temple for a while, Ajun learned to meditate, accept his past, and live mindfully. After 3 months, he returned to his village and started over. Ajun was no longer the reckless boy he once was. He apologized to his father, then used the remaining gold to repair his house, and gave a portion to the poor in the village. Those who once hated him now began to see him differently. They saw an Ajun who knew how to care, how to share, and worked diligently without complaining. One day, a flash flood hit the village. Thanks to his experience living in the forest and his initiative, Ajun guided the villagers to the highlands, saving many people and property. From then on, he was respected as a filial son and a brave man. Many years later, Ajun became the best carpenter in the village. But no one remembered his past mistakes, not because they forgot, but because Ajun had lived so kindly that his past mistakes were no longer worth mentioning. One afternoon, as the last rays of the sun fell like silk, Ajun sat under the banyan tree where he had once pondered over karma. This time, his face was no longer tense, but peaceful. He said to a child in the village, "My child, karma is not something to fear, but something to understand. Every action we take is like a seed sown in the ground. What we sow today, we will reap tomorrow. If you want a happy life, start with the small things: a kind word, an honest action, and a heart that repents when you do wrong."